Alrighty, so I finally got a hold of the 105 grain Berger hybrid target bullet, and we're going to go ahead and test it out in our 6GT today. We're going to use Hodgdon Varget and CCI number 450 primers and our Hornady 2x fired brass. So looking at some load data, it looks like we can probably work our way up to 34 grains of Varget. We're going to start out at 33.2, which is a bit high, but we shot a whole lot of rounds with the 108 ELD and 33.4 grains, so I think we're going to be okay there using the same components just with a little lighter bullet. We're going to shoot 33.2 grains all the way up to 34.0 grains. We're using 2/10 increments today, and we're going to go ahead and do 3-shot groups. Then hopefully we'll find one of those loads is pretty good, and we'll go back and confirm it with a 5-shot group. The overall length we're going to use today is about 2.561. This is about 30 thousandths off the lands. So I'm pretty excited to see how these Bergers will shoot. I had really good luck with the 140 hybrid target in my Berger, and today we're gonna go ahead and get on the range and we'll see how they shoot. Alrighty, we're out here on the range. Target is at 100 yards. This is my 24-inch Seekins Havak hit, chambered in 6mm GT with a 1-8 twist. Now the gun is clean. I'm gonna shoot these 3 shots through it to kind of foul up the barrel and warm up the barrel. These are some of the load that I shot at the competition that I had left over, and then we're going to shoot 3-round groups with the Berger 105 hybrid. We're getting velocity through our lab radar. This has a 5-25 Midas tack optic. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get the gun warmed up and get the barrel fouled, and then we'll see how the Berger shoots. Alright, so that oil shot, that first one was quite slow, wasn't it? They grouped in there though, didn't they? Alright, so now that we've got the gun warmed up, we're going to go ahead and shoot our first 3-shot group. This is 33.2 grains. Okay, so just a little less at 28.37. All right. So it seems like these Bergers are probably going to shoot. Our first 3-shot group doesn't look too bad. Take a look at our velocity average there. Alright, so those 3 average 28.30 with an 8.8 SD. I'm going to go ahead and move on up to 33.4 grains. Alright, really consistent velocity there, wasn't it? Yeah, those 3 average 28.43 with a 3 SD. Go ahead and move on up, 33.6. Alright, so as you can see there, we missed one on our lab radar, which is pretty rare. The first 2 came in, I think, right at 28.50. Yeah, so those 2, we had 28.51 and 28.50, so pretty consistent. Luckily, that third one was quite consistent as well. Barrel's warming up a bit. We're going to go ahead and shoot these next three. A big jump in our velocity there. Brass looks okay though. So kind of a false jump in velocity maybe with that first round. Yeah, so kind of a false jump in our velocity with that first one going up to 2890. The other ones were like, what, 2869? Our brass is still looking okay. We did just start to get a little bit of primer cratering though. Some light primer cratering. But we are going to go ahead and go up to this last load here. At 34 grains of Varget. Alright, last groups. 34 grains of Varget. Alright, so that last group's definitely the best group. Our velocity wasn't quite as consistent as some of our earlier groups, but let's take a look. It wasn't horrible. That was a pretty sweet little group there for 3 shots. Alright, so those 3, I guess it wasn't bad. I guess we had 2889 feet per second with a 6.8 SD, so it wasn't as bad as what I thought. So let's get over there, let's take closer to the target. Alright, so we're back out here on the range, and I went ahead and loaded up 5 rounds with the exact same load. Didn't change the die setting or anything like that, at 34 grains of Varget. And we're going to go ahead and try to confirm that really good 3-shot group that you guys just saw. Gun is cold. I mean, again, it's a couple days later. Nice day to shoot, no wind, really to speak of. So again, that first shot's going to be a cold bore shot, but we don't really care. Like the cold bore shot to group with the other shots. So, all right. So let's go ahead and let's see how these will group. Hoping these will just all shoot into the same hole, and then I won't have to worry about tuning this group. Be interesting to see how velocity is too. Usually that first one out of the barrel kind of throws off our SD, so we'll see if that's the case again today. Getting velocity through our lab radar again. All right, first shot here. Alright, so not too bad. Looked like we kind of double grouped them there a little bit. But looks like a pretty good load, I think, overall. Let's see what our average velocity was. Alright, so we're back at the bench here. And I won't talk about those first 5 loads we shot too much. They all looked pretty good. They were all about 0.4 to, well, really, they were all about 0.4 inches except for that last load at 34 grains. our velocities were pretty consistent across the board as well. So as you can tell, I went ahead and loaded up 5, and you guys just watched that group, and that ended up being about a 0.056 inch 5-shot group with a cold bore shot, 2880 feet per second, a 3.1 SD, and we actually had a 9 extreme spread as well. So I'm pretty happy with this. I thought we might get just a little bit better grouping than this based on that 0.13 3-shot group. But as the barrel warmed up, it seemed like our point of impact was shifting down just a little bit. So really at 0.56 inches, 3 SD and 2880, I've got nothing to complain about. Could I tune this load a little bit, get it just a little bit tighter? Probably. But for practical accuracy, practical shooting, I think that 1/2 inch or that almost half MOA is going to be perfectly sufficient for what I need for it. Taking a quick look at our brass here, really not much to see. That load on your left there is the lowest load, and moving on to our right, 3 are our top load, with this bottom being our last 5 that we shot at that 34 grains. There's some very slight primer cratering that you can see on some of those top loads, but the primers are still nice and round. There's no ejector smearing or anything like that. I think we're in a good range for our pressure. So I think that's probably what I'll do today with the Berger 105, and this will probably end up being a new competition load. It's a little bit faster than my old load, and I think it's a little bit more consistent with velocity and group size. Also has just a little bit higher BC than the 108 ELD match. So thank you guys for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and the hit seems to like the 105 Berger, so we'll see you next time.